Many professionals have taken to social media to argue that house prices are set to crash, pointing at a variety of data points to explain their reasoning. This is no surprise given these same people have been expecting a crash in prices since 2020. Since then, of course, the median home price is up over 40%. Much of the hype is fueled by a concept regarding the dying off of older Americans who will in turn wind up having their homes sold off by their children. As more and more seniors pass away, more houses will come onto the market, therefore bringing down the cost of housing. While this logic makes sense, I think a lot of people are missing a giant factor and no one is talking about it. Therefore, here we go. As it turns out, I have been looking to buy a project home to flip for multiple years. Recently, I noticed an influx of partially flipped houses that are coming onto the market. As some of you may know, I live in rural Pennsylvania, and the average price home in my community is $187,434, which according to many locals is way too high, despite being less than half the national median price. I just recently looked at one of these partially remodeled houses and wanted to share it. The seller managed to scoop up this property a few years ago for nearly nothing, only $4,100 in 2020. Basically free in my book. However, the property went up for sale at $60,000 a few weeks ago and is already down to $47,500. Based on the listing, the house seems like it is in decent shape with just some finishing touches needed to move in. It even has a brand new roof that was installed this year. What a bargain. As you can see from some pictures, the home has a brand new deck structure in the front, a new shower unit, and a nearly completed bathroom. For the price, it seemed like it just may be the bargain I've been looking for. However, upon our arrival, we noticed some interesting issues. The roof, although brand new, was replaced on top of clearly rotted boards that should have been replaced. It also lacks fascia, which is crucial for preventing future rotting. Also, as you can see, there is a lean-to covering that is clearly about to collapse, and the foundation looks troubling at best. So, what happened here? My guess is an investor bought the property to flip or maybe even live in, and after spending a pile of money realized it was too much to finish. Alas, they are trying to recoup as much of their investment as possible. The main problem, however, is the sheer cost of fixing this house to completion. As I mentioned, the roof likely needs to be structurally fixed or even replaced, possibly requiring the entire new roof to be tore off. Given that I replace roofs on a fairly regular basis, I would guess this roof cost at least $15,000 and unfortunately was likely an entire waste of capital. Since the foundation has many signs of decay, it likely needs to be majorly renovated, which could cost an upwards of $15,000 as well. Let's not forget that all of the windows need to be replaced, an entire new kitchen, and possibly a new heating and air conditioning system. It's also worth bringing up that not only the cost of these required upgrades are going to burn cash, but it's also very difficult to find carpenters willing to take on such large projects in older homes, meaning that you're likely on a waiting list or spending extra money to hire out a big firm from the city to come do it. When it's all said and done, one has to wonder who would take such large levels of risks when they could just buy an average move-in ready home for around $190,000. The problem in our market, as well as other markets, is that the cost to repair houses has gotten so expensive that in many cases, it isn't even worth attempting, as once you finally finish the home, you may end up spending more money than what a move-in ready or possibly an already remodeled home would have cost you. Alas, the big and final point I am trying to make. Many analysts are failing to consider this when projecting the falling of house prices. The question we need to ask is how many seniors are living in homes that they cannot afford to maintain, and when they do pass away, what happens if the cost to repair the house ends up being more than what they would be worth? Are analysts overestimating the number of move-in ready new houses that are going to come on the market? What happens to these partially remodeled homes that investors are not willing to remodel? Is it possible that home prices in many Northeast areas are simply too low, considering the costs now required to revive and remodel existing homes? Time will tell, but before you continue believing that 2008 is about to repeat itself, you may want to do a little more homework. Cheers.